Hey, y'all, and welcome to day number 36 of the WSOP and the fourth annual WSOP and All Vegas Poker Daily Spaces coverage. I'm Sherry Pluskota, aka Peaches, aka the White Oprah of the poker community. Yes, that is hilarious. And yes, I think Fats would have loved that as well. Please be reminded that we will always try to give the most updated and accurate information possible, but we are human and the information is always fluid in the poker world. So please make sure to double check any information we provide to ensure yourself the best experience possible. And please correct us if we're wrong. We want to be right. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel at Sherry Pluskota 9212. You'll find the recordings of my past spaces and interviews there. It is free of charge to subscribe, so please do so. And hopefully I'll get that YouTube channel caught up with the recordings. Honestly, I haven't even touched it since I left home. Just haven't had any time, but hopefully here in the next few days when I'm at the beach chilling, I can be uploading those videos or recordings. Pardon me. Wanted to touch on a few things this morning, but first I want to read something that I read at the TDA Summit yesterday, but I'm going to tell you I was an emotional wreck by the time I got to that summit because, of course, we did the space yesterday. Then I ran out the door, caught a cab, and went over to the TDA Summit. And Matt didn't even know what was going on, and I, of course, didn't know that. But within less than 5 minutes being there, I literally was standing at the door where I just walked into, waiting for a good time to walk to my seats. And so I was just standing there, and I promise you, it was probably less than 5 minutes when they started the discussion about using the word lady or women or women's in the title of tournaments, like the ladies event, or should it be women's event? Pardon me. And so I had probably 5, 6 weeks ago when the topic was brought up on Twitter, wrote a speech that day because, you know, I just was moved to. And so I tweaked it right before I left for Vegas. And I read it yesterday at the TD Summit, but unfortunately, my emotions got in the way, and I was shaking like a leaf, like it was crazy. It was almost like an out of body experience, and honestly, yeah, it was a little bit embarrassing as well, but it is what it is. I mean, whatever. So I wanted to reread it again because I think it's important when women and even men are chiming in on the argument on using those two words. And really, isn't there, more important things we should be concerned about in the world of poker besides two stupid words? So anyway, I'm going to read it and hopefully do it justice this time. And let me just say, Linda Johnson was the person leading the conversation, and her nickname, which was given to her by Mike Sexton, is the First Lady of Poker. So just wanted to put that out there before I start reading it. The irony of the First Lady of Poker leading the conversation about two words, women and ladies, is not lost on me. Not exactly sure when Linda Johnson gained the nickname, but I'm pretty sure it was decades ago. A nickname honoring her accomplishments in the world of poker. A nickname anchored in the history of her breaking through the glass ceilings in the poker world. Anchored in the battles won against condescending, misogynistic men. Anchored in doing things no other woman did before her. The First Lady. An honor recognizing her many accomplishments as a poker pioneer. A nickname honoring her. It's not honoring tradition is never a negative, and in this case, changing a word because someone is assuming the intent of the use of said word is a meaningless virtual signaling change. If we really want to make the world of poker a better place for women and men, we need to stop arguing over two stupid words. For it's a terrible reflection on women in poker. We should not dismiss the many polls taken indicating a change is not wanted, even if the polls don't meet our personal agendas. I can't imagine that our beloved First Lady of Poker would ever consider changing her name that is so rich in history and accomplishments. Nor should we consider or force the changing of a tournament title also rich in history and accomplishments. Instead, we should be thankful and appreciate our operators that believe in the necessity of said events and continue to host them. We definitely should not put any rules in the TDA dictating what word an operator can choose to use in a tournament title. Thank you. I just needed to do that because I think that is a very important little speech that I wrote, and it should be heard without me being a babbling idiot, which Joey, welcome, I'm sure you can attest to because Joey was there.
Oh, yes. When I grabbed your hand to walk you to my seat, you were shaking like I can't even explain. Oh,
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy
I
for
could feel
sure.
your legs. Your legs were wobbly. I could feel it.
Yeah, it was crazy. But anyway, we got through it, Joey. We got through it, and I just wanted to do that justice for sure because I think it's important that we think about things outside of ourselves. You know, sometimes we get so emotionally involved on a topic that we forget that it's really not about us, but the whole picture and how it affects everyone or everything. We kind of get our blinders on sometimes. So anyway, there you go. You guys have heard it, and I feel better now, doing it a little bit better justice for sure. Um, I want to. I want to congratulate Skye Chen, who I didn't get to yesterday. She took down the ladies' event. She beat Aubrey Williams in heads up battle for that ladies' bracelet and title for the women's event at the WSOP, and she took out home 194,000. So congrats to Skye Chen. I did get it to it yesterday, and I definitely wanted to start out the day talking about her great accomplishment for sure. If anybody, I don't know if anybody heard her little interview. I think it was like maybe day two of the ladies' event. But when I heard it, I was sort of like, wow, she's kind of full of herself. I mean, and there's one thing about being confident, but there's another thing that you're like it's over the edge of some of the stuff that she was saying. And guess what? She backed up her words by winning the bracelet. So can I really say that now? But yeah, I can. But you can go back and listen to it and give me your opinion on it when you do for sure. And congratulations to her. Honestly, what a great feat winning a bracelet at the ladies' event. Love it. Um, TDA Summit. What a long day. If you've never been to it, it's a great thing to attend, but it's also just a long day of rehashing things. And I was talking to somebody when I went out for a bathroom break, and he said he was going to talk to Matt about there's got to be a way to speed it up because when they bring up a rule to discuss, sometimes there's as many as 6 or 8 people saying the same exact thing. Like we should maybe, I don't even know how to suggest how to do it differently, other than maybe making an announcement at the beginning that if you agree with somebody's opinion that's already voiced it, there's no need to come up and say the exact same thing again, right? If you have an opposing view, yes, we want to hear everything that's different. But if your view is exactly the same as somebody that just spoke, in the interest of time, maybe consider just knowing that that person already said what you would want to say, right? So, what did you think about that, Joe?
It's gotten to the point, and don't be mad at me, but I won't even be attending today because it was so draining of my energy. and I got to hear what I had to hear. Got to say before you got there. I got to say a lot of things that I got to say, but I don't think I can go through it again. Yeah,
Well,
I have to. They have to change the format. It's just so draining.
yeah, it is. And it's a lot and it's overwhelming because you're going over a lot of different topics and rules. Should we change them or not? Or does it need to be reworded or not? Or do we agree with it or not? And it's exactly what we need to be doing, but there has to be some way to speed it up. I don't know how it is. I'm going to try to think about it. And maybe it's just having somebody that is I don't know, maybe somebody directing traffic, like, okay, remember now, we just heard Sherry said this. This is Sherry's opinion. If you agree with her, that's fine. You don't need to get up and reiterate it. Like we heard it from her. I don't even know what the answer is, but we do need to speed it up. And I'm flying out today, so I won't be going today. And I really just learned from last year that, one day is enough for me. It's a long day. Literally, the doors opened at 8 and we were done at 5 o'clock. Now, I went late because I did my podcast first, but there were people there from 8 or 8:30 or 9 o'clock all the way to 5 o'clock. That's a long day to discuss rules. Does it need to be done? Yes. 100% agree that it needs to be done. And maybe it's to the point it needs to be done every year so that the agenda isn't so packed because it's been 2 years since discussions have been made, since there's been a TDA summit. So that may be an argument to do it every year versus every other year. That may be an argument for that. So don't know, just know that we need to tweak it somehow. Go ahead, ASG. Welcome. Good morning.
Morning, afternoon, whatever. Yeah, I didn't see too many repeats, but I guess the main thing I personally would change is one, I would have made public uh, this slideshow agenda before the meeting, and then two, I would definitely like separate like maybe one complete day for the non-rule stuff. Like,
Right.
they said like the whole ladies versus women's, that was never going to be a rule. So like, then why are we discussing it at the, kind of thing? And there was a
Yes,
bunch of
dude.
things like that. So like, keep it to TDA changes for one day, at least, maybe two if you have to, and then do like all the other stuff, like whether or not you should implement blind penalties or other things that aren't really related to rules you're going to change as a separate thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And ASG was watching on the live feed. So that's how he, you know, has an opinion about what took place yesterday for sure. Yeah.
ASG was watching the live feed of the summit. Who loves it more, really?
Right. Hey, Brandon.
Morning, Sherry.
And I'm watching day two right now.
I love it.
You're a true sicko, ASG. I love it.
Okay, so ASG was watching when I got up and talked to. I had wrote this little note after our space yesterday when ASG, I think it was you, brought up about fats. Um,
Yes, it was.
okay, okay, I couldn't remember. Anyway, I had wrote this down and I was going to bring it up throughout the day at some point, and then I was like, no, there's like no way to insert it without it being like just just so out of place. But at the very end, Matt Savage brought up that they were going to start talking about mixed games today, day two of the summit. And I was like, oh, this is a perfect opportunity for me to say what we had discussed in the space yesterday. And so I said something like, um, we lost fats today. And that's when I realized that Matt did not know. And I went on to say that we had spoke in our space today, in our space yesterday morning, that we kind of thought that Fats would say the following, because Fats is getting inducted to the Hall of Fame of sports betting, and of course Matt Savage has been nominated several times for the Poker Hall of Fame and has not been inducted yet. So anybody that's been around in spaces knows that Fats used to tease Matt Savage about changing rules in seven card stud, and that Matt Savage single-handedly, did I say that? I can't. Anyway,
Single-handedly.
thank you. Ruined the seven card stud because of the rule change. And so I said something to the effect that everybody knows Savage is, this is what Fats would be saying right now. Everybody knows that Savage is not getting into the Poker Hall of Fame because he single-handedly ruined seven card stud by changing the rules. And everybody kind of chuckled and laughed, and Matt thanked me for that because he hung out with us a lot in spaces with Fats, and Fats would bring that up often, and Matt would be like, "Oh man," and it was funny. So anyway, we had a little fun with that yesterday. And ASG was actually listening to the feed, and he messaged me at the time. So
Yeah,
that's it.
Savage immediately responded, double bet on 4th Street, like he knew immediately what Sherry was referring to.
It was so funny, and everybody laughed. Yeah, so a little bit of mention of Fats yesterday. So, okay, let's talk about Joey. Joey Gargiulo is our resident poker coach this summer, and he is going to give us a lesson in what today, Joe?
We're going to talk about the many faces, the many hats of poker.
It's
So,
all yours.
thank you. When I was a kid, my father called me Lucky Joey. Or sometimes he would call me Lucky Joe. He didn't call me that because it sounded cute. He called me that because strange things would happen around me. I was a kid who would win raffles. I would win prizes. I could pick numbers and somehow they would hit. People would look at me like with this half smile, half confused face, like they were trying to figure out whether I knew something they didn't. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Maybe luck is just a name we give to a rhythm we don't understand yet. In the Art of War, Lao Tzu said, "A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." For me, maybe that first step wasn't even at a poker table. Maybe it started as a kid, holding some raffle ticket, hearing my name called again, and watching the adults shake their heads like, "There he goes again, Lucky Joey." That was my opening step. Before I knew pot odds, before I knew position, before I knew table image, before I knew what it meant to put a man to a test for a decision for all his chips, I knew what it felt like to be surrounded by belief. People believed I was lucky. And later, when I started playing poker, the belief followed me. It walked into the room before I did. I became the luck box, the guy who always seemed to get there, the guy who somehow had it when you called, and the guy who somehow didn't have it when you folded. It's funny how that works, right? Because I was always lucky? No, hell no. But if people want to give you an image, a real poker player learns how to use it. And that's where the dance begins. Poker players talk about cards like the cards are the whole story. They're not. The cards are just the shoes you wear to dance. The real dance is perception. The real dance is timing. The real dance is knowing what they think you are and then becoming something else at the exact moment they stop questioning it. If they thought I was lucky, good. Let them think that. If they thought the universe was always helping me, even better. Because once a table believes you are blessed, cursed, crazy, lucky, unlucky, fearless, reckless, tight, loose, honest, or full of shit, they start playing against the character they created in their own mind. And that character becomes a weapon. Nicola Machiavelli wrote, "Men in general judge more from appearance than from reality." Now that line belongs in the poker room. It belongs under the felt. It belongs in the space between the cards and the chips. Because at the table, people rarely play against the full truth of who you are. They play against what they believe you are. They play against your reputation, your posture, your silence, your last showdown, your last bluff, your last lucky river, and unfortunately, your last mistake. So yes, I leaned into the Lucky Joey thing. I let them think what they wanted to think. When they called me, most of the time I had it. When they folded, well, let's just say they probably made a very wise decision for my stack because I didn't have it. That's poker. That's theater. That's the opening step of the dance. You learn quickly that the cards are only part of the performance. The rest is pulse, posture, breath, silence, timing, tension, and the invisible pressure moving around the table like music nobody wants to hear. Once I felt that music, I was hooked. Not just on winning, not just on the money, not just on the chips slotting my way. I was hooked on the feeling, the euphoria of the win, the chase, the escape, the moment when you're skating across thin ice with a thin call, knowing one wrong move could send you crashing through. That feeling is hard to explain to people who don't understand poker. They think it's gambling. They think it's cards. They think it's luck. And yes, luck is in the room. Luck is always in the room. But luck is not the whole dance. Luck is the wind. Skill is the sail. Awareness is the hand on the wheel. Arthur Schopenhauer wrote, "Fate shuffles the cards, and we play." I love that because it gives luck its proper place. Luck may shuffle the deck. Luck may deal the cards. Luck may send the river. But after that, what you do with what you're given, how do you move? How do you respond? How do you dance when the music isn't the song you requested? That's where poker becomes life. At first, I didn't understand all of that. I just knew I loved the feeling, the mystery, the danger, the way one hand can make your heart pound, the way one bluff can make you slow down, the way one call could feel like standing at the edge of a cliff and deciding whether to jump. Somewhere along the way, poker stopped being just a game to me. It became a language, a mirror, a classroom, a battlefield, a stage, even a church, and most of all, a dance floor. It taught me about people. It taught me about fear. It taught me about ego. It taught me about patience, timing, discipline, courage, deception, humility, and truth. Because there's a strange thing about bluffing. A bluff is a lie, sure, but the ability to bluff, well, often reveals the truth, doesn't it? The truth of how much pressure someone can take, the truth of how deeply they trust themselves, the truth of whether they are playing cards or playing fear, and the truth of whether you have the courage to tell a story with nothing in your hand but timing and belief. That is what table image really is. It's just not how you see. It's how you use what you see. It's the costume you wear into the dance, but also the moment you decide to step out of it. If they think you are lucky, you can't let them fear the river. If they think you are honest, you can choose the perfect moment to lie. If they think you're wild, you can value bet them to death when you finally have it. If they think you're tight, you can steal the room when nobody believes you would dare to. Poker is a game of masks, but the best players know when to wear one, when to remove one, and when to let the opponent create one for them. That was the first lesson Lucky Joey ever gave me. I didn't understand it in those words at the time, but I felt it. I felt that people were reacting not only to my cards, but to my story. They were reacting to the legend, even if the legend was just still a kid with a nickname and a little bit of strange fortune following him around. And that is how the dance begins for many of us. Not with perfect strategy, not with polished theory, not with charts and solvers and clean bet sizes. It begins with a feeling, a spark, a moment where the table pulls you in and something inside you says, there's something more happening here than everyone admits. For me, poker became the place where luck, skill, intuition, fear, courage, and timing all met in one circle. I was no longer just Lucky Joey. I was learning how to lead. I was learning how to follow. I was learning how to glide. I was learning how to fall without breaking. I was learning how to win without believing I was invincible. Most of all, I was learning that sometimes the most powerful thing at the table is not the hand you're holding. It is the image they believe you're holding. It is the story they believe about you. It is the rhythm you let them hear. And that's why, my friends, poker is so incredible to us. Not as a game, but as a lifestyle, as a way of seeing, as a way of moving through uncertainty, as a way of dancing with other minds, as a way of dancing with yourself, as a way of dancing with the universe. My father called me Lucky Joey. Maybe he was right, but luck was only the beginning. The real story started when I learned how to dance. If you enjoyed that, that's from the poker dance. And there are many, many hidden lessons and messages on a very deep philosophical level about life and poker in this book. A very wise person, wiser than me, said, if you take the word poker out of the book and substitute the word life, it takes on a much bigger meaning. I hope you guys enjoyed that today.
I
Tomorrow,
sure did.
thank you. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about reading the rhythm. Interesting, right? So
Love it. Thank you
I
for that
feel
lesson, Joe. Appreciate
you
that.
you're very welcome, Sherry. Very, very welcome.
I love it. Love it. I'm just pondering it for a minute, Um, you know, image is everything at that poker table. Image is everything. Make sure you're investing in your own image at that poker table for sure. Thank you for that, Joe.
You're very
Good food,
welcome.
very good food for thought. And we will look forward to tomorrow's lesson. I'll be on my way to the beach tomorrow, and I'll have to pull into a
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A to do this podcast, but we'll get it done, people. We will get it done. Oh Lord. All right. I did the drawings for the two books we needed to give away. CPK's book Tequila Falls. Patrizia won that. And then Razorfold donated a Super System 2 book that he's going to embellish with his artwork. And yeah, I can't wait to see it. And Kai won that. So, Joe, if you could let Kai know he won, and he needs to message me so that I can talk about getting it shipped to him, please. I'd
I will,
appreciate it.
100%. Yes, I'll give him your number. Is that okay?
Yeah, perfect.
All right, cool.
So, congratulations to both of them. Um, I can't wait to see how Razorfold is going to embellish that book. It's going to be cool. I just know it is. So yeah, happy to give those items away, and I appreciate both of those donations to the seventh official Spaces meetup game, which of course is in the books literally. What a great time that was. Again, thank you to the Bellagio and Craig Larson and the staff there, Sean McCormick. They really did right by us for sure. Give some winners around town. Over at the Win in Ho Song, took down the $1,100 turbo for 43,000. Over at the Venetian, Jason Holzberg took down event number 73, the $600 bounty for 12K plus bounties. Over at South Point, Tammy and SB took down, are now co-champions. They both took home $1,900 for taking down the Lips Omaha High Low tournament. Over at the Aria, Chen Tong took home $9,800 for winning the $300 nightly. Thor Morstol took down the $800 eight limit mixed tournament for 31,000. Abdul Samad took down the $1,100 no limit tournament, which had 297 entries for 49,000. Reese Badat took down the $300 nightly and in a deal took home $7,300. So congratulations to those winners around town. I want to talk about the quilt for a minute. And you guys have heard me say that the whole thing has been a circle of life, and me giving away the quilt is going to kind of complete that little circle in my life. And you just can't write a script better than what has taken place, and it's crazy and it's like mind boggling, but it is what it is. So I'm going to read something I posted back in April on my Facebook page that'll give maybe some perspective to some of you that don't know, like how the whole thing came about of me raffling this quilt to raise money for the Poker Gives charity to feed the homeless here in Vegas. And by the way, we raised $1,150. So kudos to everybody that chipped in and bought tickets to help feed the homeless. Great result for sure. So this is what I wrote in a Facebook post back in April. What started out with one of my crazy ideas, take my poker t shirts and turn them into a quilt for charity, has really blossomed into a passion to continue my mom's legacy of feeding the homeless. My mom never passed a homeless person on the street without offering them to step inside for a meal. She didn't believe in handing them cash, for she saw too many of her family members destroy their lives with alcohol and drugs. Clementine's kind-hearted gestures taught us as kids so many valuable lessons, but to her, it was just doing the right thing. I've kind of evolved her thinking to my own. Besides buying someone a meal, I will hand a person cash, something adopted after one of my daughter's teammates, Jay Mayer, said this to me. If they can buy beer and forget about their current situation for a few hours, doesn't that mean they are happy for at least a few hours? Definitely food for thought and something I have not forgotten. We, me and my kids, while traveling, because we don't have a refrigerator, will enjoy a good meal and pack the doggy bags and find someone in need and hope they will enjoy it as much as we did. It doesn't take much to do the right thing, so please watch the video and if you can, make a donation so we can feed the homeless together. So that is sort of like in a nutshell why I decided to raise money for feeding the homeless. Now, um, we gave away the quilt the other day to Jamie Kurtzetter, and she messaged me and said, I would like for you to do a redrawing because maybe somebody out there would enjoy having something with all those autographs on it, a lot of which, are her friends. She didn't say this part, but, are her friends. And I thought that was such a lovely gesture and very cool, right? And so, of course, we're going to redraw for the quilt. And yesterday, after the TDA Summit, I came back to my hotel and I was like, oh my God, I've got to redraw for this quilt because I'm leaving tomorrow. And when am I going to do it? And if the people are here, I can give them the quilt and they can take it home and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so when we did the first drawing, I had left all the tickets in the barrel And I just zippered it up into my carry-on suitcase, which I had used to wheel it down to the Platinum Lounge to do the drawing the first time. So I didn't even unpack it. I left it in the suitcase till I heard from Jamie. And so, sure enough, she wanted to give away. And why? Because other people had mentioned to me that if they won it, they wanted me to redraw. So I knew it was a possibility. So yesterday, I come back here and I'm like, I got to do this drawing somehow. Let me just go back down to the Platinum Lounge and find somebody to help me do this drawing. So sure enough, I wheel it back to the Platinum Lounge, and this lovely gal, Kayla, is one of the hostesses at the desk of the Platinum Lounge. And I asked her if she would help. She was like, of course. So I set it all up, and we start the video on spaces, because I told everybody I'd do live video, space video. And so, of course, we do the drawing. And when she picks out the ticket ends in 222. Well, I couldn't see it, but she pulls it out and she says something like, "Oh, it's an angel number, whatever." And and I said, "Well, read the number out, tell us what the number is." So she reads the number out, and I didn't have my PC with me. So I had to look up who won it, of course, remembering the screenshots that I had posted the days before. So I went to the screenshots, and lo and behold, it was my number. And when I pulled it up on my screen, she goes, she doesn't know any of us. She goes, "Who won? Who won?" Like she would know, right? And I started laughing, and I go, Sherry Pluskota won, and that's me. And she's like, "Oh my God, it's the angel number. It's the angel number." And I looked at her, and of course, she had no idea what my day had been like, right? And or why I did the project to begin with, right? And so I explained to her about fats and how we lost him that morning. And she said, "This quilt is sent to you from him." And I believe that. And my mom. So my two angels, and I was going to redraw for it. And the more I thought about it, I was saying, you know what? That is truly the full circle that I have talked about for the last 7 months of this project. It is the full circle. And one day, yeah, I probably will give the quilt away, but right now, just going to hang on to it. Go ahead, Joe.
Um, yeah, that doesn't surprise me, Sherry. Um, when I first walked into the Platinum Lounge, and remember, my number's 444. I have it tattooed on my arm. I have a 444 necklace. I walk in there, and Kayla, that walking earth angel, there are all these earth angels that work in there, by the way. She goes, "Oh, you're one of us." And I knew right away. And I said, "What's your number?"
Wait, that
And
was the same girl as this?
yes,
Oh, wow.
yes, you can't make
Wow.
this up.
It's so
Sometimes, Sherry,
crazy.
you
It's
have to say,
crazy, dude. It's
you have to,
crazy.
you're going to say the O word, but you have
Fuck.
to say it the way I say it. You have to say, "Obviously it was her. Obviously. Say it. Obviously."
Obviously. Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's so nuts.
No, it's not. So
Crazy.
every day when I'm there, I hang out in the Platinum Lounge, and I brought Kai in there because he gets. And those of you that don't understand numerology and angel numbers and stuff, have a conversation with some of us, and you'll get it. But this is walking, living proof. Sherry just lived it. Okay, this is the world that Colette and I live in on a day-to-day basis. So we're just obviously you picked 222. As soon as you said 222, Colette looked at me like, "Oh my God, this obviously just happened." Um, yeah,
It's
that
so
was a
bizarre.
message from Fats. That was 100% Fats message. Okay, when I tell you there are Earth Angels that work in there, one of Kayla's co-workers is Rachel, who is Josh Ari's wife. Works
Right.
there, right?
She's running it. Yeah. Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rachel runs it. Yeah.
And Rachel handpicked these amazing, amazing Earth Angels, very spiritual, very grounded. What a great staff, but yeah, obviously that's from 222. Come on, I mean that's just like fat screaming from up above that
It's crazy.
you have a new Earth angel. I
Oh
mean, you
my
have a new
God.
angel above. You have a new guardian angel, okay? And he used an Earth angel to deliver that message to you. I
It's
love this
insane.
story. Oh, it's
It's
great. I
it's
love it.
insane. I'm just going to tell you something. I sat in that lounge and she closed and she's like, I'm closing, but you just sit in here for a few minutes. And because it was so much. And it was the end of my day, and the day had already been fucking insane with DMs and the space and the TDA summit. And it was just a crazy day emotionally, physically. Yeah. I mean, I sat in there, I was like, holy smokes, what is going on? That's all I kept saying to myself is, what is going on right now? This is truly a full circle. I had this tub of t-shirts that I'm like, what am I going to do with these t-shirts? Oh, let's try to do something good with them and raise money with them. And let's do it in honor of my mom, always feeding the homeless and like crazy. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
Tracy's on the call too, and she'll tell you it's not so crazy at all. It's so goddamn obvious. The universe just smacked you in the head and say, "Duh."
Right? Like, oh my God, I don't know. I'm just exhausted and very emotional, as you guys know. And yeah, so it's hitting hard, but here we are. Here we are. So yeah, I don't even know what else to say about it other. Let's move on. Let's just move on. And yeah, yeah. All right. Today over at the WSOP at 10 a.m., event number 72, day 1C, 1K mini main. At 12 p.m. is event number 73, day 3, 5K six-handed, 6.4 million in the prize pool, 1,402 remain. And I didn't even look up. I'll get back to that. I'll come back with who's the chip leader. I forgot to look it up this morning. But there's 979K at the top waiting. Oh my God. Yeah, it's time for Sherry to go home and get some loving from her grandbaby. At 12 p.m., event number 74 is the $1,500 eight-game mixed final day. There's 1 million in the prize pool, 776 entries. And of course, I didn't look up those things either, but there is 181,000 at the top for the winner. And I'll be right back in a few minutes with that information. At 12 p.m., event number 76, day 1 is the 100K high roller starts today. Pot limit Omaha is the game. Hopefully, one of our horses will win that ASG. At 1 p.m., event number 75, day 2 is the 10K 7-car stud. High low 8 or better tournament, 1.4 in the million in the prize pool, 156 runners. And of course, I didn't look that up either this morning. At 2 p.m., event number 77, day 1, the 2,500 mixed triple draw low ball tournament. Of course, that's a limit game. And hopefully, we'll have some of our horses from our fantasy league team on that winning table as well. Event number 63 saw a winner, the 1K Mystery Millions. I'm happy to say Matt Higgins from the South took it down for $1 million. What a nice guy, even though he, never mind, I'm not going to say it. 641,000. Dominic Panka took second place in that. Matt Higgins is a crusher from the South, and, you know, he's a great, great guy. Great, great guy. And the only reason I hesitated is because I'm just going to say, you guys have heard me talk about him defending Maurice's actions. And so him and I will defer and on that forever, but it's okay. We can't take away from his poker. Matt's an awesome, awesome guy. I'm just telling you, I've spent many a days chatting with him, and awesome guy. And I could not be happier that he took down that 1K Mystery Millions. Event number 71 is the $2,500 mixed game big bet. Dylan Smith took it down for 182,000. Matthew Vengren took second for 118,000. Event number 70 came to a close. That was the 10K PLO, and Michael Mizuraki, the grinder, took it down, took home the bracelet and 1.3 million in the prize pool. Pardon me. Zarvan 13 came in second place for 900,000, and I could not let this go by without noting it. In 11th place, taking home $80,000 was Strip Club Amy, just for you peanut gallery members out there. Uh, so congratulations to all those winners. And like I said, I am going to look up um, who is in the chip lead of these couple of tournaments. While I do, Joey, go right ahead.
And I apologize if you announced this a few days earlier, but it's been a couple of crazy days. But
Yes.
so, as some of you may not know, but I run a women's intuitive poker school, and they name themselves Joey's Angels. There's an angel word again. A couple of days ago, one of my students won the Lips Woman in Poker National Championship. Amy Hootling won the event at South Point. So, and we're just so proud of her. And I'm sure you announced it, but I might have missed it. I might have been whatever. I might have a phone call coming through when you announced it. But I just want to do a shout out. And it was a couple of days ago, but we're just proud of her.
I love that. I'm glad you did give a shout out. And Karen, I just got your message and I did not put two and two together. So thank you for jogging my memory on that. Now, I am looking at event number 74, which is the $1,500 8-game mixed event. And Sean Deeb is our chip leader with $3 million in that event. Blaze Azurjov has 2.3 million in chips in that event. Now, let me look up event number 75 real quick, which is a 7-card stud event. And Matthew Grape Grapenthin, no, Grapenthian is in first place as far as chip stacks are concerned with 322K. Whoop whoop. ASG, pay attention, buddy. Bryce Yockey's in second place through 321,000 in chips. That's one of our horses. We need him to take it down. I'm scrolling down the list. I see Robert Mizraki in 11th, Chris Hooney, otherwise Big Hooney, in 14th, Chad Everslage in 18th, Gary Katz 24th. A lot of folks still in it to win it. Another one of our horses, Brian Yoon, is still in it in 33rd place. Just scrolling through this list real quick. Yeah, still in it to win it, folks. Let me see if I can. There are 75 remaining in that 7-card stud event. Now there's one more. Is that it? Oh, number 73, which is the 5K 6-handed no limit tournament. And let's see who the chip leader is. Roland Peaks has 3.4 million. Joseph Taraski has 3 million in chips. Lucky Chew, he's still in it in 8th place with 1.8 million. He's another one of our horses. I don't know, ASG. We may sneak into the money if these folks do well these last few days. I see Josh Arie is still in that tournament. Benjamin Pollock is still in it. Jesse Lonis is still in it. So great names left in that top 60 still remaining in that tournament. All right, I think we covered it all now. I just wanted to give those folks the acknowledgement that they deserved going into the next day as chip leaders and in second place as far as chip stacks are concerned. So let me read off a few tournaments around town and then we'll just go into some open mic stuff for sure. So be prepared with whatever you want to talk about. Over at the Aria today at 9 a.m. is the Turbo Satellite for the PLO tournament. $160 buy-in, 5-seat guarantee. At 11 o'clock at the Aria PLO Mystery Bounty, $1,100 buy-in, $500,000 guarantee. At 1900 hours at the Aria is a satellite into the main, $400 buy-in, 10 seats are guaranteed. Over at the MGM today at 11 o'clock, and at 1800 hours are flights 1A and flight 1B, $400 buy ins for that $100,000 guarantee. Over at the Orleans today at 11 o'clock is their no limit tournament, $200 buy in, 15,000 guarantee. At 12 o'clock is their PLO tournament, $400 buy in, 30K guarantee. At 1600 hours at the Orleans is their satellite into the main, it's 120 buy-in, no guarantee. At 1,800 hours at the Orleans is their no limit tournament, $200 buy-in, 15K guarantee. Be reminded that Orleans does have add-ons in some of their tournaments, if not all of them. So double check on Poker Atlas to make sure you have all the information you need to decide whether or not you're playing any of those tournaments. Over at the Win today is their no limit tournament at 12 o'clock, $1,100 buy-in, 250K guarantee. At 1 o'clock is day 2 of their PLO tournament. At 1,400 hours over at the Win is a satellite into their 3K PLO mystery bounty, $400 buy-in, 10 seats guaranteed. At 1,800 hours at the Win is their no limit turbo, $1,100 buy-in, $100,000 guarantee. And let me just finish this last one off. Over at the Venetian at 1010 is day 1C. $800 buy-in, $500,000 guarantee. At 12:10 p.m. is the Lips Lady High Roller, and that is a $2,500 buy-in, 150K guarantee. And at 1,604 and 10 hours, day or flight 1D of that $800 buy-in, $500,000 guaranteed tournament. And let's not leave out Mandalay Bay at 8 and 1 p.m. today, $60 tournament, no guarantee, 10K stack, starting stack, 15-minute blinds. That's what's going on around town, people. I'm jealous. I won't be playing. I'll be heading to the airport, but I'm not going to be joking when I say I can use some hugs from my family members today. So I am looking forward to going home and heading to the beach tomorrow with my grandbaby for her very first trip to the beach. So all that business is taken care of. Brandon, welcome, welcome, welcome. You got anything you want to talk about?
Sherry, it was great to hear from you. Great to see you on Friday, and enjoy your trip to the beach.
Thank you. Appreciate you. You been having fun? What you been doing?
Fucking dusting off money at the craps table and the pie gal table and every table I go to. So it's not going very well, but we're gonna try to rectify that today.
All right. Don't chase losses, though. Don't chase losses.
No, I'm not chasing. Just
All right.
I
Have,
brought the money. What I always do when I come to Vegas, I bring cash to, and then I think it's already gone. So if I lose it, well, it was already gone. But if I
right.
go on with money, then I cool.
No, I get it. You got a budget. I like it. I like it. I like it. Maybe next time we'll play some craps together.
Yeah, that would be fun. That would be fun.
It would be fun. Is Mary having a good time?
Yes, yeah. We played Pie Gal. Like, she doesn't really gamble. We played Pie Gal together though. She kind of enjoyed that a little bit.
Awesome. Very cool. Very cool. Love it. All right, ASG, what you got for us?
Just watching the TDA mostly. Just trying to think of what happened. Oh, late Reg uh, struck again in a major
Uh
way
oh.
with these higher ones. The 5K had 517 people. It had to be left at the time. It had to be completely redrawn because 187 people came to max late Reg. And
Oh my God. If that doesn't prove that a rule needs to be changed, nothing will. I mean, 187 late regs. Come on.
yeah, that number is from PEDS. I don't know if that's the official number, but 187 sounded like an official number, so I'm going with it. Yeah.
That's a lot of
They
late regs.
they should 187 that fucking rule, in my opinion.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's a lot of late regs. But you know what? That's going to give fuel to the fire that, we need to shut that shit down. It's got to be shut down. That's ridiculous. What do you think about that, Joey?
Yeah, this we need to reel things back a little bit, and uh, in a little while, I want to talk about what my observations with the TDA in general, but this topic. So here's the thing: for the little man and little woman who does not have the budget to shoot 18 fucking bullets,
That's right.
we are at such a disadvantage, because what's happening here is that and I've spoken about this before. We're only as good as the seat we get. Sometimes we get the seat from the poker gods. Sometimes we get the seat from hell, like the name of one of my books. Okay. And what these players are doing is that they're sitting down, they're immediately assessing their seat. Do I have the lucky seat at the table? Do I have the one that can do no wrong? If I don't, then I'm going to have to invent new ways to win. So I'm just going to pretend I have the seat and punt like crazy. And sometimes that works. Okay, sometimes it works. Or if it doesn't work, big deal. I got 10 more bullets in my pocket. Let's go to another table. I've seen this, and I will call out the Maurice Hawkins of the world that do this. I'll call out people that people know. I'll call out one of my friends, Dan Larry, does this. Okay, I'll call out a lot of people with a lot of rings that do this because I live in the ring world. But now I'm seeing it in the bracelet world too, so it's no different. It's a formula that works, so therefore they're doing it, if that makes sense. So this is what we're competing against. The formula of just shooting bullets until it's taking shit thrown against the wall until something sticks. Okay? But there are ways for us to overcome that. It's just we have to use our brains, we have to use our wallets, we have to be frugal, right? In a different way. This isn't just poker, this is life too, isn't it, everybody? Right? Okay? It's the same shit. And that's what I have to say about that.
Well, and this is a conversation I've been having about a year and a half now about the rebuys and limiting the rebuys and what is that magic number and whatever. And I call it buying themselves to the final table. Like they're buying themselves because they can buy in, 10 times, 20 times, 36 times, whatever it is. So to me,
100%.
they're buying their way to the final table, and it is not fair. It is not fair that a handful or even 20 players out of thousands will do this and putting the thousands at a disadvantage, but yet we're catering it to these 20, 30 players in the name of, it makes the prize pool bigger. That's such a bullshit excuse for allowing it. Honestly, it is such a bullshit excuse. And honestly, something's got to change, people. We just got to stand up for ourselves and say, this just isn't right. Like, it's not right. What are we doing? What are we doing here? But anyway, there has to be a happy medium somewhere. And for me, I see that as a limit. Like if we limit the rebuys, and I've said this a million times, I know Joey's new to spaces, so he's probably never heard me say it, but I don't know what the magic number is. Should it be 6 rebuys, 10 rebuys, 12 rebuys? But whatever it is, we have to come up with a number for rebuys. That's it. To me, there's no excuse not to. None whatsoever.
All right, so I have even a more inside track. So I was privileged a few years ago with giving the nod to be on poker stakes. Like I am on poker stakes. You won't see me because I'm not staking right now. Now, when you're in poker stakes as a staker, you get to choose your markup from 0 all the way up to you can put 5 times the buy-in if you wanted to. And there's a button that you could press and you get to choose it. It's called diluted shares. Now, what diluted shares means is if you're buying a piece of me on one bullet in an event, and then I, as the one you staked, bust and choose on my own to shoot a bullet out of my own pocket, if I check that box, that means that you get, if I shoot 2 bullets, now you get half of your staking, but you're still staked in my bullets. You see how that works? If I don't check that box, that means it's one and done. So if I hit on my first bullet, great. If I don't, and I'm staked on a second and third bullet, because you can stake bullets. And sometimes I stake people on their third bullet because I don't want any part of the chaos in the beginning. So that's just really cool. So Sherry, when you're on there, that's a really cool thing to do. If you want a very good investment, buy like $5, $10, yada, 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 of like something like any great pro will have it. You could buy Kristen Foxen's third bullets in events. How cool is that, right? Now, not saying she shoots 3 bullets, but if she did, she would treat that bullet like a little newborn baby that she didn't have yet. She will nurture that baby chip stack. Plus, it's late reg, and she's a great late reg person, right?
Right.
So that's what's really cool about it. But so now back to the shooting of bullets. Okay. Um, when you're staked, you kind of feel like you have this obligation to. It's hard because the other people are depending on you and they're rooting for you, and it's so disappointing if we punt off our chips and it's their fucking money. I don't care if it's $1 of their money; it's their money. I'm trying to help them, right? So we will shoot a lot of bullets sometimes, but when we shoot bullets, we're not shooting them haphazardly. We're doing it the same reason why Kristen Foxen or Cherish Andrews, okay, who I love buying her second bullets, by the way. Cherish second bullets are gold, okay, gold. Telling you right now. And I have a lot of them. So anybody ever, if we want to have spaces one day next year beforehand, or we can even do it. There's still more to season. But if people want to just throw $5 here, $10 there, we could have a whole spaces topic about that one, Sherry, because there is strategy to it that I learned from the pros
Well,
on how
and
to make money there.
yeah, and
And
I've been pretty successful myself investing on poker stake, but I'm just going to say that although I have recommended staking people, I try not to do it too often because it involves money and I don't want people to make investments on my word, so to speak. Right. I
yeah,
can
right,
recommend a player that I think is up and coming, and if they choose to stake them, fine. Or
mhm,
if somebody comes into our space asking for staking, I have no problem with them. And we've had that before, and we've got them staking before. It's just for me, it's a fine line to walk because it's people's money and they're investing. And I never claim to be, one to give
right,
investment advice, but I don't mind suggesting, like, I've suggested many a times Alan Kessler, like
right.
why
Who
people
doesn't
don't
buy Alan
invest.
Tesla?
Like why people don't stake him is beyond me because the man's goal is to get in the cash. So
Oh yeah, he plays the cash for sure.
yeah, and so you're
Yeah,
gonna get your money back. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
um,
What I'm thinking, Sherry, though, is not you, not me, a panel. Like, invite anybody on that's had success because you know stuff that I don't know. They know stuff that we don't know. I know stuff that nobody else knows. And together, if we work together and we just took the best of the best and let people hear the best of the best advice, they come up with something even better. Does that make sense?
Yeah, great thought. Great thought. Go ahead, ASG.
Okay, well now we've completely changed to like a whole bunch of different topics. So I'm not sure which one I even want to bring up. I'll start with one: check chainsaw tracker. Kessler's a losing player, but secondly, I really don't.
Boo.
I mean, facts is facts. Uh, Secondly, I really don't like the idea of at which these staking sites started of like where you're paying for different people's bullets. Like there was a thing last year where like Rampage had, and he, to his credit, he actually paid people who didn't need to be paid, but he was entered in some tournament above his normal. I want to say it was like a 10K tournament,
All right.
And then because he had people stake him using these staking sites for the 10K tournament. In my opinion, that contributed to him being able to have the 10K for the second bullet after he busted the first bullet, where he only listed one bullet, not knowing he was going to play two. And then he used that second bullet to win. And if he didn't do what he did, which wasn't required, I would have like felt kind of away about like, oh, you use this you use this investment to be able to have the money for a second bullet and not give any, and like as I said, it was completely voluntary, it was
Right.
completely within his rights, good on him for doing it. Regardless, I just don't like the concept of investing in people and then not actually having that investment for the bullet they went in. But I
And
also
I think
understand the
that's
guys.
a
Well,
very
it's a
valid
different
point.
buy-in.
I think that's a
Yeah,
very, very valid point. And I have thought about it myself when I've done staking.
yeah. So yeah, I'm more of just I'll give you all the money and for for 3 bullets, and you're gonna refund me the 2 bullets if you make it to registration on the first, whatever. Not that, the percentage thing. That's also kind of, I don't know about that one, but and then when it comes to late reg, I think there's also like different issues. There's how many buy-ins, and then there's also um, how late registration goes, which combines with how many people are now max late regging, which also is involved with how late registration goes. How many big blinds
Sure.
you have
Sure.
when you max late reg. So like the reason why it's so profitable is a lot of these tournaments now, like max late reg is like, once it's less than 20 big blinds, it's like printing money because like,
Absolutely.
like so many people have already been eliminated before you go register.
Yeah.
So you have the EV that you didn't even contribute to. So yeah, I'm and then also, because you're a late reg, you don't even need to come in on the big blind. You can watch around your
You can
table and
walk
then
around the table until the big blind passes you.
yeah, like they're giving you extra edge that you didn't even ask for. It sounds awesome. Anyway,
It's so sad, but so fucking true. Oh, gosh. Unbelievable. Karen, I'm just going to answer your question on air because I'm worried about kicking out of the space. Somewhere between 11:30 and 12. Go ahead, Joey.
All right, so I have a great question for ASG. You ready? Okay. ASG, what if each boat you buy gives you a diluted share of the prize pool? So if you shoot 2 bullets and you win the whole thing, you're only entitled to 50% of first place. It's like taking the stake, the same stakers that are doing it to everybody by not doing diluted shares. If they had to have a diluted prize pool, would that work?
maybe I'm not. Wait, what?
All right, so watch this. What if you shoot 2 bullets, now you're only entitled to 50% of what you win. If you shoot 4 bullets, you're entitled to 25%.
So where does the other percent go?
Back to the other people that didn't shoot the fucking bullets. Okay. In other words, you cash out of a tournament, but then there's this side pot going on, and it gets dispersed among everybody who cashed. It's all of the money that was diluted that the people that are shooting all these bullets are not entitled to. So when one of our superstars shoots 9 bullets and only one of them pays, they're not winning everything. They're winning a little percentage.
So
Okay.
let's say a buy-in is $1,000.
Uh-huh.
Not only am I firing $10,000 for 10 bullets, I'm only entitled to $1,000 of the prize pool.
Right. So there's got to be a breaking point where you say, okay, when one bullet is even money. Okay. Now, don't think that people won't shoot 11, 12 bullets because they don't care about the money. They want the bracelet. You get it? So the rest of us, if we shoot 1 bullet, we're entitled to our exact percentage of the side pot that they were not entitled to anymore because they got diluted. We get it. All the other winners based upon number of bullets.
So do I get it based on how much that 2,000? So let's say I shoot 2 bullets of $1,000 each. Am I entitled to half the prize pool or whatever 2,000 is as a percent of the entire
Right.
prize pool?
So if you cash, if you cash and first prize is $1 million, you're only receiving 500,000. The other 500,000 goes in this side pot, and everybody who entered the tournament, based upon how many bullets they shot, gets their share diluted. So if you only shot, let's say, very simple. Let's say there's 1,000 people that did not cash who shot 1 bullet. Okay. And all these extra bullets that the prize pool that was not handed out because it was diluted. Let's say there's another $1 million up there. Okay. We get 1 share of the $1 million. If you shot 2 bullets, you get a half a share. You shot 3 bullets, you get a quarter share. You get what I'm saying? Okay. So it gets dispersed among. So what it's doing is it's giving more prize money, positive EV to the nittier players, or the ones that couldn't afford to shoot multiple bullets, the ones that refused to shoot, the ones that are good poker players that just didn't make the final table and make it into the money. You see what I'm saying?
Joey, I got a much easier solution to this.
Please.
Just more freeze outs. I mean, I think that's way easier than what you're talking about. Just make everything back to freeze outs.
Well, and
Well,
it's
yeah.
really about the
Amen.
state.
Amen.
It's really about the staking too, right? And I'm just going to
Oh,
say, of all of the people that I've looked at on Poker Stake to stake, there's only been one person, one out of the hundreds, thousands of, things I've looked at to possibly invest in. There's only been one person to do the dilution thing, and that was JJ Liu. The only person I've seen, and I've been doing it, what, 2 years now, maybe? I don't know. I'd have to go back and look, but um, she's the only one that checked off the dilution thing. And actually, when she did, I was like, what the hell does this mean? I had to go look it up because I'd never seen anybody check it off before. And so I had to go look it up, and I was like, wow, okay. All right. I'm not mad at it.
I if Joey was talking about staking, I'm sorry that I like jumped in there. I thought he was talking about tournaments, but I just think more freeze outs would like.
Yeah, the last thing was about the tournament itself.
Okay,
Previously,
Yeah,
was
it was
about
about
Right,
it was about
right,
the
right,
payouts of the tournaments. Right.
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 I mean, I just think there's like no besides the main event, and I think they have one other freeze out in the WSOP, but like dailies here in Vegas, like there's no freeze out. I mean, that not that I know of anyway. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm missing one, but
No, I can't think of one freeze out for
yeah,
daily.
yeah. Like I don't know. I just think the freeze outs are way better for a player like me who is not that good, but wants to put $100 in a tournament and see if I can get lucky.
they might be better, but more people will play tournaments with higher guarantees, which typically require rebuys.
Right. And
But you can't do in a freeze out because the pocket's bigger. That makes sense.
well, and
Well,
Brandon, I'm sorry if I missed, I was trying to look something up, so I may have missed the correlation there. So I'm sorry. Didn't mean to say the wrong thing for sure. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that he was talking about it. I thought he was talking about tournaments, but I didn't want to misunderstand what he was talking about.
No worries, buddy. Go ahead, Joe.
okay. So, I have a very good friend who is a gaming accountant. So I have an inside idea of what's going on in the industry, but I've also heard this directly from the operators. It doesn't, they'll be in the red if they just ran freeze outs. They need the rake from the rebuys. And that's the formula that they have because of the competition and what they're doing. They're fighting for expenses, they're fighting for dealer costs. There's a lot of overhead. And the formula that they have now, the overhead is profitable. They can make some money. They don't make a lot of money, the operators, but they make some money with rebuys, with the rake. If they ran all freeze outs, they go out of business. We wouldn't have any more tournaments that are traveling. Okay, you could have in-house tournaments because they got cash going on and shit like that, but you won't have, you wouldn't even have WSOP circuit. It would be gone. We would lose. We would lose Run Good. We would lose Mid Stakes Poker. You name it. We would lose all of them because of their costs.
Like at a 20% rake, they're not going to make money. I mean, you know more than I do, obviously, but it just seems
They're
like at a
making money. They're making money. I'm not gonna, they're making money. Come on, people. And they don't have to have a million rebuys to make money. No, I'll never buy that. I'll never buy that. Mm-mm.
but me personally, I may be, you guys may not agree with me, but I'd rather pay, if it's a 20% rake tournament that's a rebuy, I'd rather go to 25% rake and be a freeze out if they need the extra money
I
than
agree with that.
than
I
the
agree.
stupid, like you said, Shay, if somebody fires 18 fucking bullets into a tournament, buys their way to the final table, right?
Right. Go ahead, Barry. Welcome.
Good morning. Good to see everybody. I think the late reg is more of a problem than the rebuys. As long if it was a shorter registration period, then the rebuy period would be much less, and it wouldn't be such an advantage to max late reg and still have whatever 10 bigs, 8 bigs, and they're just getting in at the wire, pushing their stack, doubling up, and they have more chips than you, who've been sitting there all day grinding a stack. So I think if they cut down the late reg period, you'll still have rebuys, but you'll have much less people. It won't be in their best interest to rebuy more than 2 times, let's say, because you'll need to finish like fourth place to break even. So
Right.
I think that limiting the length of time would lower the amount people are incentivized to rebuy also.
I
Or
agree.
maybe if you're regged in the tournament already, you get a larger window than the people that are coming in right at the end.
Yeah, I think both need to be addressed. Both topics, rebuy period and rebuys. I mean, late reg period, I'm sorry, and number of rebuys. I think both need to be addressed. That's just my personal opinion, people. It's okay if you disagree. Karen, I hope your phone's not ringing this time when I give you the information you seek between 11:30 and 12, lovely. Go ahead, Joey.
You know who does a good, cool thing I like? Poker Go Studios. If you register before the tournament starts, you get a huge discount. So a 5K,
Yes.
5K, you only pay 4,500. So, and there are a lot of people that register on time, and it's a
Yeah.
better way.
It's a good incentive. I want to say the Venetian or the Win have done that from time to time too, but I could be making that shit up. But Poker Ghost definitely does it. If you get there early and register early, you're going to get a nice, significant discount. And I love that incentive.
Did I hear Joey right? He said if, in a 5K tournament, if you register before the tournament starts, you get for 4,500.
Correct, 100%. Or if they might have changed it and say you have to pay 5,500 now if you're a late reg. But if you look at the sheets, it says the on-time registration cost and the late registration cost.
Oh,
Yep.
that I like that a lot.
That's a great incentive. It really is. I love that. Love that idea. Give them incentive to do right. Hello. Instead of giving them incentive to get late reg, like a big stack. But anyway, yeah. All right. So anybody else have anything they'd like to bring up that we're missing? I have to tell you, I haven't had much time to dive into more than what I've talked about the last couple days for sure. Oh, I do want to tell you, Vegas horse pools. Scott, right? Is it Scott Barry?
Yeah.
Scott. I'm sorry, brain fart. He's going to be with us on July the 2nd, which is Thursday. And we're going to talk about, he is a proxy. If you don't know what that means or what that involves, let me backtrack. Circa runs their big survivor pool for the NFL. And what's the other one called, Barry? The survival pool, and what's the other one? Just Circa?
Circa
The
millions.
I'm sorry, say it again for me.
The circa millions.
Circa Millions. So what happens is, and this is what I had to do yesterday in all my craziness, I had to meet him in person and register for the Circa Survivor. We wanted to get one team registered with my sons and a couple of friends, whatever. And so I met with him at the sports book at a certain location, and I sign up for a team, not a team, for what would it be, Larry? Barry. Oh my God.
An entry.
An entry. Thank you. Yes, my brain is not working. Okay, so I have to sign up for an entry, and then I give him a proxy card. So what happens is every week by Friday night, I have to submit what team is our pick for the Survivor contest for the NFL. And then he puts in that pick for me because you have to be here in Vegas to put the pick in. So since I live in Atlanta, I have to hire him as a proxy to put in my pick for the week. And so he's going to be here talking about all that on Thursday, which I think is going to be very interesting for those that love to do that kind of thing and kind of get an insight as to what it all curtails. Because, it's all news to me. And, Barry did it last year for us. And we had a group of, I don't know, 150 people with 5 teams. And yeah, it was fun. Got to expose a scummer in the process, but it was fun. Yeah. Go ahead, Barry. Are you doing it again? Have you decided what's going on?
Haven't decided yet,
Okay.
but yeah, it's available in just a few states. Wherever Circa has a casino, they have their app. So if you're in that particular state, you could do it without being in Vegas. But their rule is you must be in Vegas or one of their properties to enter the picks. So
Thank you. Appreciate that.
So they have that casino in Michigan. You can be in Michigan and make your picks. I thought it was only Vegas.
if it's a Circa casino, you could do it in Michigan.
Oh, nice.
Very
Sherry, I
nice.
learned so much in your spaces from everybody. It's very fun.
I, I I'm going to tell you, I learn something every day in our spaces conversation, and most days I learn 2 or 3 things. Like it's mind-boggling how much we teach each other, whether we realize it or not. It is really mind-boggling.
I mean, I never say anything that teaches anybody anything, but it's fun to learn from everybody else that's smarter than me.
I beg to differ. I think we learn how not to be worried about bathrooms when a union member is involved.
Scary. Good one. All right, you win.
I was trying to think of something quick. That's the best I could do, Brandon.
That's good. You win. Okay.
Or we could, here's another one. We could learn to not lie about being a lawyer when we're trying to become friends with new people.
Well, yeah. Okay.
I forgot about that till just now. You're making me put my thinking cap on. I'm not so sure about all this.
But I just learned from Joey about the Poker Go tournaments that you get a discount when you register
Yeah.
early, and then what Barry said about the Survivor. So now people, if they live in Detroit, they can play from Detroit instead of having to get a proxy. So that's good. I think they have a casino. They have a casino in Michigan somewhere. I think, right? Or no, maybe they just have the app. You,
Maybe they just have a sports book somewhere.
I think I think they just have an app. So can you play from the app, or you have to go to the in person and make your
From
picks?
from the app.
So if you're in Michigan, I know they have the app in Michigan because Fats was playing on the Circa app in Michigan. So you could just do your picks on the app, so that save some money on the proxy.
Yeah, but you have to live in that state. You have to be in that state to do it. So I'm in Georgia. So even if I could get the app, which I don't think I can in my state, but doesn't mean I could use it to do the circuit thing, right? Am I thinking about that right, Barry?
Yeah, you have to physically be in a state that has the app, which you can't. Only where they have the casinos, I think they have the app. Maybe ASG
Okay.
knows. He's got his hand up.
Go ahead, ASG, and then we're going to welcome a new guest. Go ahead, ASG.
Oh, I just wanted to tell you in case you want to watch the recording later. They're talking about dogs.
I know. I'm mad that it's today, but anyway, hopefully somebody's going to stand up for what I believe in. But I can't be everywhere at the same time. And I knew that there was no way I was going to 2 days of the TDA. I did that last year, and my time is limited in Vegas. And so,
They basically said they can relocate people. Well, yeah, they said like basically they're almost not allowed to ask any questions of people with the dogs, and then in terms of the other people that they accommodate people who are allergic, but only if they say they're allergic, not any kind of fear or anything else.
okay, so
But that
that
was
is
one floor, one TD. Like basically, there's no standard, and there's nothing they're gonna put in the TDA or anything else about this.
well, and what they're saying is incorrect because by law you can ask 2 specific questions of a pet owner that has a pet in your business. by law, there are 2 questions you can ask
Yeah,
them. So
they brought up what questions you can ask, but then also they said that certain casinos have certain rules about who's allowed to ask those questions of the staff members and some other things. But yeah,
well,
they
and
did
I
bring
agree
those
with that
questions up.
because you definitely want whoever's asking the questions to know all the legalities so they don't get themselves in a pickle for sure. I really wish I was there because I'm not only a person that's allergic to animals, but I'm also afraid of dogs. And so I would have loved to give my input on the situation, but I'm happy it's being discussed whether I'm there or not. So, Joey, I'll get to you in a minute, but I want to welcome Austin Robb, or I guess you went down back to listeners. So, okay, if you want to come back up, Austin, you're more than welcome to. Go ahead, Joey.
Okay, so I'm reading the structure sheet for the next Poker Go event. And right on the structure sheet, it says rule number 1: on-time registration will be considered in on the grounds in the building before registration is closed. And under the cost of the tournament, in the rake section, it says fee for on time $100, fee for late reg $700. Now, this is in a 10K event, so it might be different than other events. But there's a $600 incentive for being on time, and they're increasing the rake. That's pretty cool. Increasing the lake for the late regs. That's
Like
where the
it.
money goes.
I like it. I like it. I love the incentive to get people to do the right thing and show up on time. I love it. That's thinking outside of the box. That's
You have
awesome.
$100 rake for a $10,000 tournament. Is is that right?
I got it up here now, and yeah, that's what it is. Don't ask. Don't go there. It's
Nope.
Poker
I
Go
don't want to. I
Studios.
don't. Nope. I don't want
Yeah.
to ask any questions. Never mind. Moving on.
Yep. No, it's a good thing, and they want to
No,
keep it that way.
it's a fucking great thing. It's an
And
excellent thing.
keep in mind who plays all his events is Katz. He loves it. You know what I mean? This is more about getting together, having fun. It's like a home. If you ever played there, I satellite in. It was like a home game tournament, but you're
Right.
playing with superstars. But they all know each other. They're all friends with each other. I'm exchanging numbers with Chino Reem and shit. Like that's how friendly it is. Okay, so I love it, and they're making it work because they know where they're getting the money on the live stream, on the advertising. YouTube is sending them the money. They don't give a shit about getting the money from the players. The players are just the actors, if that makes sense.
No,
Yeah, of course.
that's
Fill
great.
in the seats. Fill in the seats. Barry, what are you up to, buddy?
No, same old, same old. I don't even know what day it is. Probably Tuesday. What's today? Tuesday?
You
Right.
know,
Right up until midnight.
it is Tuesday. It is Tuesday, and I'm telling you, I am ready to go home. I am most ready to go home. This girl needs a hug from her kids and grandbaby. And yeah, and I'm going to tell you, I am going to do our space every day and then probably not be on social media very much until after the 4th of July. And after the WSOP ends, I won't be doing any spaces for a few weeks and I'll go back to my Friday night space. I'm definitely taking a break after, which I always do after the WSOP ends. So go ahead, Barry.
Oh yeah, just I remembered. You went to the charity event. You got to meet Tipsy Cloney. Was that the first time
Oh my
you ever met her?
Yes, and she was our bounty at our table. She is a mess, literally, and figuratively. Like she is a lot of fun at the table. She loves her wine for sure, and she slowed down the game because she was almost making the dealer play. I mean, put the chips in for her. She kept asking, "What's what is the big blind? What is the bet? And what chips? How much are these chips? How much are these chips? And can you just put my chips in? I want to raise. Can I raise? I don't know if I want to raise." Like when it would be her turn, all of us were like, let her have folding hand. Just let her have a folding hand so we could keep the game going. And it was hilarious. Like we had the best table. She is a sweetheart for sure.
Yeah, when she comes to our charity event, it gets to around midnight, and everybody's stumbling around, and
Yeah.
obviously she wants to deal the final table. We want to get out of there and have it end, but she wants to jump in the box,
Oh
and
God.
she can't hold the cards. She can't shuffle. She can't pitch. Can't read the board. She can't do anything at that point. But she's got to make a cameo in the box. It's crazy, but they love her, so it's all
Yeah.
good. All good fun.
Absolutely, all good fun, and it was a delight to meet her. And I got to meet Jen Harmon as well for a minute. Uh, you know, which and I met that Olympian. Is it Oddly? What is his name? Um, Let me look it up because I don't like to be wrong. It's not nice to be wrong about somebody's name.
I got to meet the big sleigh dog. That was good.
I did too, which was fun. Audley Harrison, gold medalist from 2000, from the year 2000. What a big guy, a gentle giant, very soft spoken. Of course, Scotty was there, got to talk with him for a moment, and I actually met with him yesterday, last night in my spare moments in time. We planned a little meeting over here at the Horseshoe, so hopefully some good things came out of that for him. I try to connect him with some folks, and hopefully that's going to work out for him.
I guess
And
my invite must have got lost in the mail somewhere.
well, let me tell you something. Everything was on the fly yesterday, Brandon. I mean,
I,
literally on the fly.
I'm just kidding. But I really did want to meet Scotty. I that would be the one person I would like to meet if I run into him and while I'm here. That would be nice.
Oh, I wish I would have known that. I definitely would have told you where to meet us. I will try to remember that the next time we're all in town for
It's all
sure.
Sherry. I was just giving you a hard time. It's all good.
Well, I don't have a problem doing any of that stuff. But who else was at the charity event? Of course, Matt and Sean and Matt Stout. Of course, it's his event. He always does a great job hosting. It was at the Sterling Club, which is across from like not the Venetian, the Fountain Blue.
Westgate.
Say it
Westgate.
again. Westgate. Thank you.
Westgate.
Yeah. And it was beautiful. Like it is a beautiful place. Very impressive. And it was fun. Like I think there were about 200 people there. It was jam packed. And of course, we were raising money for the rhinos, saving the rhinos. So lots of fun time for sure. I'm very happy I got to go and look forward to those events. I've been going to them since like 2019, maybe.
Yeah, those are our peeps for sure. Right? They're really cool.
They're very cool. I met some new folks, which is always fun as well. But yeah, it's been a crazy ride for sure. We'll do it all over again in December with the eighth official Spaces meetup game. And folks, I have tons of pictures. I still have to get out there as soon as I get time. And of course, all the thank yous for everybody that pitched in with attendance prizes and splash the pot prizes. So my feed will be full of all kind of thank yous and pictures and yeah, but here we are. All right, I'm going to go around the horn. If you have something you want to bring up, now is the time. Joey.
Yes, in the chat, I put the structure sheet so you guys can see it and believe it and
Perfect.
absorb it. 125,000 starting stack. How cool is that, right? We should got to be
I
jealous.
love it. I love that so much. Brandon, any last thoughts or things you'd like to bring up?
No, that's it, Sherry. Again, as I say every time, appreciate all the research and time you put into this and everything you do for spaces, like the meetup game and all that. You know, if nobody tells you, at least I tell you that I'm sure everybody appreciates all the work you do.
Thank you. Appreciate those kind words. Barry, anything else, buddy?
Yeah, it's a daytime show, so I won't say it.
No, go ahead, buddy. We may want to hear it. Today may be the day we need to hear it. What do you want to bring up?
And I was just scrolling through the horrendous timeline and stumbled across Stapleton getting criticized about his commentary on Aubrey Williams. and there's this MJ Murphy person. She put out a video. So I
Oh
just,
yeah.
so I
I don't
just
want
want,
to give it.
I
I
just
don't want
want,
to. Yeah,
yeah,
no
just
need to
want to
bring up
say,
her name.
yeah, I might not know what a woman is, but I know what a cunt is.
Oh,
Yeah,
zinger.
I don't even want to give air to that person. I don't want to even put their name out there because I don't want people to go give that person clicks because that's all they're wanting is to make a name and get some clout out of the situation. And I'm not a big Stapes fan. I think he needs to change his jokes. They're old, and but that doesn't mean I don't think he's a hardworking person. I do think he's a hardworking guy. I just don't, some of his jokes just fall short for me and are old and repetitive. But like I said, doesn't mean he's not working hard. Anyway, the whole subject matter, I don't want to give any more wind to it. Why? Because that's what those people want. And fuck them. Honestly, fuck them. Go ahead, ASG.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of comment ish on the your your quick Stapes thing with like I I've like wondered for a while kind of in my head and I still haven't come to a conclusion in my head of like when it comes to poker commentary, like yeah, when you talk about jokes, like is when you show poker, like are we trying to act like this is entertainment where you need a comedian in the booth and then kind of whatever on that end, like you've had comedians in the booth when you had like Harry Carey or whatever, but that type, but it was mostly about talking about the action of the game, whereas a lot of poker commentary seems to be about like you know making it entertaining rather than like uh really game analysis in that point. So it's like, what are you really looking for? Are you looking for the most views, or are you looking for actual game coverage and explaining what's going on and that thing? Because like I don't feel like any other sport or activity really has this conflict as much as poker does, when it comes to like you know entertainment versus sport. Like,
Well,
they
I
talk
tell
about Harrington being a heel and this kind of thing. Like, you wouldn't have a heel be a commentator in a sport, but
well,
you
and I
would
think
in the
you're making a
WWE. So,
I
like,
think you're making a very, very valid point. And I think part of it is that people consider the booth different because it's poker and we're in card rooms and casinos, so the lines are drawn differently because we hang out with strippers and drunks and drug abusers and whatever and normal people and sober people and the people of all walks of life. And so I feel like the line gets blurred as to what is expected, wanted, or presented in the booth because people view the poker world differently than they do the sports booth or the booth at the Macy Day Parade in Thanksgiving time in New York or whatever. And quite honestly, I don't. I don't view it differently. I want the integrity to be of the highest of standards. And for me, if you're going to put somebody who makes a living selling his jokes in a comedy club in the booth, you're expecting him to be funny. You're putting him in there because he's a comedian. In my opinion, they're looking at him as a comedian first, a commentator for poker second. And guess
yeah,
what? His jokes were funny 5 years ago, but now they're old. And again, doesn't mean I don't think he's hardworking. I don't, don't, it doesn't mean I don't appreciate his hard work and his commitment and all that. Not at all. But, you know, I just need something different. Like it's just not hitting for me with him this year. It just
yeah,
isn't.
and then yeah, and the same with the interactions to the chat. He, talk about making the same jokes. Yes, he makes the same joke. Who were the commentators in the booth? Were the people talking? Thank you very much. But like ha ha ha. But like I'll tell you, I can't recall the last time besides being also something funny, that they brought up something the chat said that was like related to the action, or related to what was going on in
Right.
the hand or the players. It's just been about making fun of the chat, or
Right.
adding a joke that the chat contributed, not like
Because they're looking
talking
for
about a player, like
because they're
when
looking
there's
for clicks. They're looking for clicks there. They're looking for sensationalize what's going on
but
versus
there could be
focus.
positive clicks. That's what I'm saying, is like, if you got fans of a certain player, uh
Come on,
that's
ASG.
not just DNEGs, that
News travels fast. Bad news travels faster. Great poker travels fast, but drama travels faster. So drama in the chat, all of a sudden, oh my God, are you watching this feed? Oh my God, you should see what Harrington's saying about the old people. Oh my
well, my
God, you
counter
should
to
see
that
what he's
is,
saying about the women at the table. Get in here and get in the chat. I mean,
well,
that's
yeah,
how.
my counter to that is WSOP isn't making money off of views. They make money off of people entering tournaments. So
Okay, I want you to think about this for a minute. We are on the threshold of ESPN broadcasting us again. If you don't think it's about the views, you're kidding yourself. They're trying to build that audience up so when ESPN comes in, they could justify why we should have them every year for the next umpteen years because the viewership
yeah,
is up.
well,
Come on.
ESPN wants the views on the ESPN broadcast.
Yeah, but you're
WSOP
building.
doesn't
Yeah,
need views on the WSOP broadcast.
yes, they do. Because they want those viewers to come on over to the main event next week and watch it on there. So yes, they do.
Well,
No,
why
but
didn't they stream
the
this?
main event is going to be on ESPN Plus. It's a completely different platform.
Why did?
Yeah, but their audience is going to move with the game. So you building your audience right now to move over to ESPN for the
Oh,
main
I
event.
completely disagree that
That's
viewers of the
fine. You could disagree.
PPC are like going to now watch ESPN Plus because Joey Harrington's making it
You're
interesting for
missing
them
the point.
to,
You're missing the point.
like,
So
there's a
You're
three
missing,
completely
yeah,
different
but you're
things.
missing the point. They're building the viewership. They're building the viewership. And guess what? How do you build the viewership? You make it where it's newsworthy. If the news is spreading fast, whatever it is, the grinders, going for his ninth bracelet,
oh yeah,
um,
and they didn't stream that.
whatever it is, whatever it is, they're trying to get you in there to build the audience. And those people are going to go over to ESPN to watch. They're going to go over.
I
And the
I,
hope
I
is you
don't.
build it so big that even if only 2/3 moves over to ESPN, that's still starting with a good number of people.
Yeah, I don't think that people getting views off of this are gonna bring audience to ESPN Plus. Like,
Okay,
that's what I'm saying.
that's
Is
fine.
you need people to be interested in the game to watch ESPN Plus, because it's completely different. It's going to be a different tournament, different group of players, a different everything. So,
Yeah,
like,
you know that, and I know that, but do these viewers know that? Or will they get over
so
there and figure it out? So we're going to just agree to disagree, and I'm going to let Barry go ahead. Barry?
Oh, I'm still here. Not every joke hits. Different comedic styles. So I'm sure some people really like Blesnick and his
All
retarded
right,
stick, and
right,
Stapleton, same thing. Look at Norman Chad.
right,
Norman Chad
right,
makes a living out of being an imbecile for how long?
right.
But it doesn't take away from anything. They keep trying new things. Some shit'll stick. So you can only have one Nick Showman and in the booth that everyone seems to enjoy his commentary. So it is what it is.
Right. But, you could also look at what people have been doing the last 3 years in a booth and go, not so sure. Is it new? I don't think it's new. It's just a new company that they've moved to, but it's not new. When you put Gavin Mather in the booth, that was new. Jen Tilley, she hasn't done it often, but putting her in the booth, pretty new at the WSOP. That's new. But bringing somebody over from another company doing the same old shtick is not new.
Why didn't they stream the 10K with the grinder? That was the thing I was wondering.
I have no idea. I don't even know what the coverage was last night. I'm going to be honest
They
with you. I
did
have
cover.
no clue.
That was what they covered last night. Was the PLO 10K with Grinder was three handed when they started
Oh,
coverage.
I tried to. Okay, I'm dumb. See, again, another thing I learned, Sherry, in your face. I tried to watch earlier and it wasn't on.
Oh, got it. Yeah, I don't know. I have absolutely no idea what the coverage was last night. None whatsoever. I'm so happy for Michael, though. Good for him. And ASG, we need our horses to do some work this today. Come on, ASG.
Sorry, I was listening to what? What'd you say?
I said we need our horses to do some work today.
Oh, yeah.
ASG has lost hope in our horses and our team. Oh my goodness. We could still
Yeah.
sneak in there.
I learned from sports. There's always next year, but
I can't disagree. Oh God. I cannot disagree on that one for sure. I love it. Oh my goodness. All right, you guys. I need to get off here and get ready to go to the airport. Appreciate everybody. Um, if you're on the felt today, good luck. If you're not, get outside and touch the grass. Please. Touch the grass, people. Get off social media. It's rotten brains. I mean, we see it every day. Rotten brains. Get off social media. Separate yourself from it for a few hours, a day or two. There's nothing more refreshing than when I go on a cruise and my phone is off for 7 days. Or I may stop at a port and get Wi Fi and go on for like 10 or 15 minutes. There's nothing more refreshing as far as social media is coming off a hiatus like that and just not even know what the hell's been going on the last 7 days. And it's okay. You survive. You don't need to know. We think we need to know because we're so hooked on social media, but we really don't need to know. That's not going to change our life in any way, knowing. But shutting it off, doing other things in life, that's going to change our lives. That's where it's at, people. Hug a tree today. Thank you for all the love and support. Thank you for all the messages the last 24 hours. Appreciate those extra virtual hugs for sure. And I am looking forward to going home because this chick is tired of being in Vegas, not because it's been bad, but just because I'm tired. So appreciate all of you. Much love. Thank you for listening now or in the future. Have a great day, everybody. Much love. You get a chip, and you get a chip, and you get a